What's up, fellas? It's Leonidas here. I got you guys another video, and this is my prediction for the Eastern Conference and for the first round, and I'm going to do the rest of the rounds too, because my other video was just about the first round of the Western Conference and my just general thoughts of the NBA. But okay, I need to talk about number 1 seed Boston versus number 8 seed Chicago. And I did watch Boston play a couple times this year. They looked really good. One of the games I did watch of them play was when they played Chicago. I think it was sometime in February. Could have been January. Yes, it was a little while ago, but they just tore apart the Chicago Bulls, because the Bulls, they were just struggling. Actually, I don't think it's February, but they just took them apart, and that's one reason why I'm picking them to win this series 4-1, because even though they're number 1 seed playing at 8, they're still not that dominant. They're a really good team, but they're not dominant like a number 1 seed usually is. So that's one reason why the Bulls are going to be able to get one win. Another reason is that just Isaiah Thomas, he's so short that he's going to have trouble just defending anybody that he's going up against. So that's going to give Rondo and like anybody he has to switch on, just for a little while, an advantage over him. So I think because of those reasons that the Bulls are going to be able to get one game, and plus Jimmy Buckets and Dwayne Wade, they're going to be able to at least put together a good game with the rest of that Bulls squad to be able to get one win. But I just think over the course of the season, they've just been too disappointing and just struggled way too much as a team to be able to put together more than just one win in this series. Okay, and for the 4-5 seed with Washington versus Atlanta, I actually have that on right now. But Washington, they've been a really good team. They're the surprise team this season. A lot of people didn't really have them making the playoffs, and they're looking like they're one of the better teams, one of the best teams in the East. Atlanta's good, but they're just missing something. I haven't really watched either of these teams in the regular season, so I don't really know for sure, but just my feeling is Washington's just a really good squad, and they're going to be able to handle the Hawks 4-2. They'll win in 6 games. Since the Hawks are still a good squad, they're going to be able to find a way to get a couple wins. And I'm going to move on to the 3 seed Toronto versus the number 6 seed Milwaukee. I watched the highlights of that game. I watched Milwaukee play Indiana earlier in the season. This was around January. But I don't quite remember how well Milwaukee did, but they're a good squad. They really tore apart the Toronto, because I watched the highlights of that game yesterday. But I still think Toronto's a good squad, and they're still just going to have a little bit more to be able to battle the Bucks with. So I think they'll be able to beat them in 7. It's going to be a really tight race, I think it's going to be. So I have Toronto winning in 7. And for the Cleveland Indiana series, I think this is going to be a little bit of a cakewalk. It's going to be another 5-game series. I like the matchup of LeBron James versus Paul George. They're both excellent wing players. They're really good on offense and on defense. So it's just really fun to watch those two guys match up. Paul George, he's really just good at just staying in front of LeBron and just being able to body him up and not just let LeBron just do whatever. He really makes LeBron work to get all his buckets. So that should be a really good series, but I don't think the rest of the Pacers squad is just strong enough to really push the Cavs. So I think they'll go down to 5. And then for the second round in the Eastern Conference, with Boston taking on Washington, I think that Washington, they're just one of the better teams in the East. I just think they're really going to be able to really show that how Boston, even though they're number 1 seed, they're just missing a little something. So I think Washington's going to get the upset and take out the Celtics. And then with the Toronto going against Cleveland, I think it's going to be similar to last year, where Even though Toronto, they're pretty good, they added Serge Ibaka and Corey Joseph to help make that squad just a little bit stronger, have a little more depth on that team. Still don't think they're going to have enough to be able to stop LeBron, number one. Then also really force Kyrie into not being able to really go off for 25 plus points, because even if LeBron struggles, Kyrie's just a really great scorer. He could just score from pretty much anywhere. I don't think they're going to slow him down if they're actually able to slow down LeBron. So I think they'll go down again to the Cavs 4-2. I think Cavs taking it 6. Then on the Western Conference, in the second round, I think Golden State is going to take on the Utah Jazz. And this is where it's going to get ugly, because Utah Jazz, I think they're going to be a young team. They'll be really hyped and excited about knocking off the Clippers. But they just don't have some of the experience and enough talent to be able to stop them Golden State Warriors guys. So they'll just be bombing threes all over the place, and they'll just bring out the brooms, because it's going to be a sweep. So I have Golden State 4-0 against Utah. And for the in the West, then when I have the Rockets going against the Spurs, I think that the Spurs, they're going to be able to take them out, because they're going to really know how to defend the three-point line. So they make sure that just the Rockets squad in general, just all those shooters aren't going to be able to really hoist them up to get a whole bunch of wins against them. So once they take away all those shooters, I just think Popovich is going to create a good plan to make sure that, so it's going to be ending up being kind of a 1-on-2 or 1-on-3 game with Harden versus, Kawhi or Danny Green and someone else helping out with some rotation. So I really think the Spurs are going to have a really good plan to make sure that the Rockets don't really have that 3-point advantage that they've been having in the regular season. So I think they'll be able to win that series in 6 games, 4-2. All right, so with the Western Conference Finals, I'll start with that one. The Warriors against the Spurs, number 1 versus number 2 seed. Even though the Spurs, they got a really good coaching staff and a really deep squad, I don't think they have enough talent on their starting roster to be able to compete with the Warriors. The Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge and Paul Gasol aren't going to have quite the advantage that maybe you think they should have against the Warriors bigs, because even though they're named players, they're kind of inconsistent now and just can't really dominate like they used to be able to. So I think the Warriors are going to play at a fast pace that those two guys won't be able to really handle as well. So I think that's going to be a big reason why the Warriors are going to beat the Spurs in 5 games. And for the Eastern Conference Finals, the Wizards going against the Cavs. I've watched a lot of videos on TYT Sports and Legend of Winnings talked about this, about how the Cavs defense has been really poor. And even though LeBron James' teams usually kind of struggle a little bit in the regular season and really turn it on in the postseason, they really start sweeping everybody. I think this is when it's really going to hurt them. And the Wizards are really going to find all the weak spots in the Cavs defense, and they're really going to pick them apart. And I think the Wizards will be able to the Wizards will really be able to take advantage of that, and they'll be able to beat them in 7. So that's my big prediction, is me having the Wizards overcome the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, love you guys, and check out one of my next videos.